I'm sure we've all seen footage of really cool and really expensive rigs out there. But that makes you wonder, how do I save money? Well, the answer to that question is kind of easy. It depends on the racing you want to do. If you can figure out what kind of racing you want to dig into, then figuring out what gear would best do the job is not all that hard. For example, do you like drifting? Then maybe you want to stick with a wheelbase that can get up to at least 50 Newton meters and has a round wheel rim. Maybe for something like that, you'd want to consider a sequential shifter, especially if you're into high horsepower stuff, or even if you're into rally. Disciplines like these require very fast shifting. So a sequential shifter saves you the effort of having to fiddle with the clutch and try to find which gear you're in. Just up or down one and you're in the gear that you need. Do you like endurance racing? Then maybe you want to get pedals that are a little bit stiffer. Something that can better replicate the feeling of a race car. If you're drifting or maybe doing toge, then you'd probably want to use like a regular, softer pedal. You can still get advantages from a harder or more complicated pedal, but you don't really need to spend all that money if you're not going to be in disciplines that would best make use of it. But then there's things like the seat and the entire stand that everything attaches to. How do you save money on those? Simple. You don't need the biggest, greatest, prettiest rig either. It might be nice for now, but you can always just wait till you can upgrade. There's tons of cheap wheel stand options for whatever budget, whether you're dirt poor or whether you're spending so much money that somebody has to wonder if it's actually good for you. When it comes to a seat, a racing seat is nice, and it'll also ramp up immersion by at least tenfold, but it's not required. I started with my dining room chair. It was just a regular wooden seat, and there was nothing special about it, but I still made it work. And racers, remember, you don't need the most expensive screens or even computers to get into this hobby. You can build a mid-range computer from anywhere between $600 to $1,000. And of course, if you want to go higher, then that's up to you. But you can enjoy Assetto Corsa or even iRacing on a mid-range or even sometimes low-spec computer. But the most important thing to remember here is that you can always upgrade, especially if you're new to sim racing. One thing you should really do is get used to the gear that you've already got. Once you get good with that stuff and can figure out where the faults are, then you can upgrade to better equipment. If you already know exactly what kind of racing it is that you want to do, then you can fine-tune your entire rig so that it fits that kind of racing. You won't have to fiddle with parts and fight with having to screw new things in as you replace things, unless you're upgrading. But even then, I think that setting up a new upgrade gives you the same enthusiasm as getting ready to play with an old piece. So what do you think? What kind of racing do you want to do? Would you like some help picking your parts? And are you going with a cheaper or more complete and expensive build? Let me know in the comments. I'm pretty curious. And of course, enjoy what you're doing. And, leave a like or a follow or a subscribe. We like that. Catch you next time.